again, for those of you who are sitting at your chair, let me just deal with this for a bit. At your desk, feet about a hip's width apart, flat on the floor. Really try and feel the soles of your feet through your slippers or shoes or through the carpet, the wooden floor, whatever. And you can feel the soles of the feet and the balls of the feet and the toes and the knees, the weight of the legs into the ankles. The shoulders are aligned with the hips. And just imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Just lengthen the spine. Putting some space in between the vertebrae. Try and align your ears with your shoulders as best you can. And just relax the body from the crown of the head all the way down to your toes. Notice your breath, the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. Be aware of the sounds in your environment. So just notice them and then just let them go. Try not to follow them around with the mind. You're so happily distracted by absolutely anything. Shiny objects. So then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. What's been going on for you today, and no matter what has been happening today, it's all good. And then just be aware of what it is you're thinking. You can maybe label the thoughts: memory, planning, anger, worry. And then, as we've done in the past, you can maybe put those thoughts on a nice, just a little sweet, fluffy cloud. And just allow it with one little breath to float away. Just put some space between you and those thoughts. And try not to judge them. Try not to, criticize yourself for whatever you're thinking. And just be compassionate towards yourself. Be kind to that small person that's inside. Remembering that some of the things that we say to ourselves, we wouldn't dare say to a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old because it would upset them. So why would we say those things to ourselves? So just internalize some kindness towards yourself. Take a breath. And then put ourselves on the river and notice the quality of that water as it's flowing by. And while you're sitting on the bank, just be aware that you're free from that water. And bring to mind some people of your life, or loved ones, the ones we don't like so much, and then are strangers. And remember, they can change place at any time. And think they're all equal, and they wish to be happy, and they wish to be free from suffering and having this potential, this Buddhahood. So just remember, there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. Do we create negativity with our mind? So equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start this practice with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all past lives, and think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logical karma. And we experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. And so having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of the future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from the present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. And here's our beautiful Vajrasattva. So just imagine we're relying on this Buddha. This is an aspect of Buddha. This is a practice, a deity, just like, in a way, just a psychological aspect of the original Buddha. And this is a practice of purification. So it's emanating in this particular form for our benefit. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. So we're not looking to this particular Buddha as a higher power or as a god or anything like that. We're just looking for the practice, for the methods, so we can heal ourselves. We've got to do the work. So Vajrasattva is above the crown of the head, and he's approximately, 1 to 2 inches above the crown. He has a sweet red mouth. He's sitting cross-legged, has beautiful eyes. They're peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom. The right is holding a vajra, which represents the indestructibility of compassion, and their being crossed represents the union of these two, which symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So we have a little section here on compassion where it's part of reliance. So because we rely upon other beings to develop compassion, so the beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us. And think particularly of those who have harmed us. I strongly wish for them to be free from suffering, because the harm they've caused you is going to manifest as suffering for them in the future. So the power of the remedy, this is the third of the four opponent powers, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar, like coming from a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body and filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sabasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hum Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And the next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of your speech. And it overflows quite forcefully. And just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs. All of this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpiyata Sawa Kamasita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva A Hom Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dinapatita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta me boa sawa siddhi mimpi yata sawa kama sita me. Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe and Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech, including yourself, including what you write, emails, letters, cards, social media. And then think of the next is the purification of the mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light this time from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So it's just the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you flick on that switch. The light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. So it's just the same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment and neediness and anger and depression, anxiety, bitterness, resentment, grudges, jealousy, all of this is instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawa Siddhi Mimpi Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata Hum Pe. And so again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now, there is no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. And next is the purification of the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So imagine Vajrasattva very happily sends light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind as you recite the mantra. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dinapatita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me, sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan, sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya, Vajrasappa dinapatita, Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me, Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me Sitam Shriyam Karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. Vajrasappa samaya manupalaya Vajrasappa dinapatita Dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsasawa kamasita me sitam shriyam karuhum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hompe. So now feel you are completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream, even the subtlest obscurations to your omniscience, to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come again to the power of resolve and the fourth and final step in the purification process. And it's a really important one. And this is this decision we make to try not to harm with our body and our speech and our mind. And you'd be surprised. It's like drip, drip, drip. The more we keep saying this to ourselves, the less likely we're going to come across situations where we do harm. So that they just won't present themselves to us. It sounds kind of odd, but I do find that in my own life. And this idea of regret is super important because it kind of pairs with this idea of, you know, when you feel like you've regretted something, you've maybe done or said something that wasn't completely appropriate, and then you just think about it, and then you just think, well, I'm not going to do that again. So this determination, this aspiration to not harm, it becomes like a beacon that guides our body, our speech, and our mind in new directions. It becomes like guardrails for us. And everything exists on the tip of the wish, as Rinpoche used to say. So this determination to not do again gives us strength. So Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my Guru's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And next, Rinpoche would recommend a little bit about emptiness. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. You can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And then think, for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, just make a strong wish in your heart for His Holiness to live long and to live a long and healthy life, the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche, and then also for your own teachers. Just wish for a long life for them. And if some of them have passed, then maybe wish for them to be reborn so they can continue to teach and practice. Okay, everybody, lots of love.